What is up, guys? DT Ninja here to give you guys my RuroKen Hokkaido Arc Chapter 22 review. Okay, guys, this is part 1, the review, and part 2 will be the discussion, so there's going to be 2 separate videos. Before we even get to the review, though, I want to share a really cool piece of information. Figurama is actually coming out with the 25th year anniversary statue for Kenshin versus Shishio. So it's really cool. So I'm going to share some photos here with you guys. Really cool stuff. So take a look. That's pretty awesome. Really detailed, beautiful, right? Now, this statue will be up for pre-order starting Saturday, February 15th at 11 p.m. Japan Standard Time. That's Tokyo time. So definitely check out their official website for more information. Really cool stuff. So there's also a world premiere for this that just aired last night. I'm going to put that in the description. So both of those links will be in the description. Yeah, so definitely check those out. Now, the statue itself, it's kind of large, right? You saw it. There is going to be a payment plan that comes with it. So you guys can pay, I think it's like $80 a month. So there is a way to get the statue if money is, really tight or something like that. So there are other options than just paying for it straight up, all cash. So just want to let you guys know that. Really cool stuff. Before I want to end this, there is a special discount code for the statue. So the discount code will give you $40 off the statue. So the discount code is Rurouni Kenshin Page. Rurouni Kenshin Page. So I'll repeat that again. Rurouni Kenshin Page. If you guys put that in the, there'll be a discount code on their official website, Figurama. They will give you $40 off for your purchase of the statue. So anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know of that. It's a celebration for the 25th year anniversary. So I have, like always, split this up. The first part is going to be things I noticed, as well as the awesome introduction color scans that Chris JP20 has done for me. I hope you guys enjoyed that, by the way. So yeah, this is things I noticed in this chapter. So first thing, Kenshin is riding on a horse, which is pretty awesome, right? We haven't seen this in the entire series. So that was really cool. He's, traveling to Otaru. And what's great about this is it's not just Kenshin. Kenshin is, with Ashitaro. And you're like, wait a minute. Okay, the last chapter, we thought that it was just going to be Sano and, Kenshin. We even saw Sano holding up, too. It's just going to be you and I. So this was awesome. And it also shows that Sano is looking after Kenshin, because he is kind of worried. He needs to recover after being in that huge battle with Byakuya. So this is a, way to kind of ensure that Kenshin's going to be all right, and more is better at this point. More people is going to be better. And, the kids, the teenagers can be useful. So I like that. Okay, the next thing, Aran and Asahi seem to be getting closer. Okay, if you guys notice, throughout the whole Hokkaido arc, even Ashitaro, the ex-con, Aran or Alan, he's actually foreign, but, he's half American and half Japanese, but his pronunciation in Japanese is Aran. So that's why I always call him Aran. That's why I use it as Aran. Even Viz, when they translated it, they used Aran. But Alan, I believe, is his actual name. If you were, to say, I think I'd rather use Aran just because everyone else is Japanese. So that's just my take on it. But anyways, Aran and Asahi seem to be getting closer. We see them on a horse, right? So Aran is with Asahi. So he's like behind her and she's like riding the horse. So I found that pretty cool. You know, she's actually controlling the horse, so that was different. Sano's on the other side of the horse. You know, he's on another horse. So we obviously know he learned from overseas. You know, he'd been traveling, and Kenshin's probably learned sometime in the Bakumatsu, but we're going to talk about that in the discussion in my next video. So, yeah. I thought that was interesting. But like I said, Aran and Asahi seem to be getting closer. They're talking more. They're seen together more. Now, I'm not saying they're, you know, leaning towards a couple, but I do know that Aran has a huge crush on Asahi. So that is interesting. It was kind of funny because, like, think about it. You're, like, riding on a horse and he's sitting right behind her. So, like, obviously there's kind of some suggestive, you know, scene there because she's yelling at him. Like, so obviously he's like bumping into her, which is pretty funny, right? So, and then you see like her face, like while she's on the horse. So it's pretty funny. But anyways, I noticed this. Okay. Next thing, Ashitaro and Asahi have similar reactions. I found this very interesting. So throughout the whole Hokkaido arc, there have been instances where they have similar reactions. Now, what I mean by that is they react very similar to certain situations. So, like in chapter 1, you know, they meet in the Akabeko. They both are, you know, meeting each other again. And let me see. Here it is. Okay. You guys can see they're both happy in this situation, but they're very similar reactions, right? They're going their separate ways, but they got to, you know, he got to eat some because he's at the Akabeko. She got to get away. So they're both kind of happy in that respect. They got to see each other again and everything's okay. And then later on, let me show you in, I believe it's chapter 12. Chapter 12, yeah, I think that's it. After Asahi kind of, after Aran kind of talks to them, they have a moment where they kind of do the same thing. Look at this. Okay, see the same reaction there? They're both happy. They both have the grin on their face. Very similar. Almost the same exact one. Well, in this chapter, they're both riding a horse, right? And they have this surprised look on their face. And it's really funny because both of them are doing it at the exact same time. So it's really funny. I like how they have the same reactions. Another thing, when I think as Aran, he mentions that they're going to make money in town, in Otaru. Asahi says, I have 300 yen. And he says, I'm going to eat to my heart's content. You know, Ashitaro, we're going to eat a buffet. They both, again, have a grin on their face. So, again, they have very similar reactions. But I got to say, the one on the horse was very, very cool. It was very cool because they're basically the same. Really cool. Okay, next thing. Aran is very knowledgeable about Otaru and its history. So I found this very interesting. We know he's a foreigner, but he's also very knowledgeable about geography, about places, about where to go, what things have been in the past and what they are now. So he's very smart, obviously. He's very smart, so very interesting. Also, he seems to be obsessed with money, which is interesting because we've never seen this before from him, and obviously he doesn't have that much money, right? I mean, these guys have kind of been on their own. They've been looking for scraps, try to get as much as they can eat, and they end up meeting Kenshin. So it's very interesting to find that out. And then there's this reference to Saturday Night Fever, which is, you know, a dance movie with John Travolta. It was really funny. He's like doing it was really funny. It was awesome. I loved it. It was great. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Okay, the next thing. Aran's words about finding what we're missing were very interesting because it's very familiar to what Sojiro said when Kenshin was telling him to find his own path. So we're going to talk about that in the discussion questions, but I found that very interesting. While he's riding on the horse with Asahi, he says, we're going to find that one thing that we're missing. And what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Well, we're going to talk about that in the next video. So that's something I found very interesting. Okay, next thing. Byakuya is still in a coma. Okay, Byakuya obviously is the leader, the commander of the Hakodate, Mount Hakodate Corps that Kenshin faced, right? Kenshin basically put him out of his misery, and he's still knocked out in a coma. Well, his comrades are there, right? Doi and Gongu. Doi is sitting there with the police officers. They're asking him questions, and he's like, I don't know. Only the commanders know information, pertinent to those experiments. Well, what's interesting about this, Doi says, you guys are going to regret it that you didn't kill him. And he's like, he's going to be scary when he wakes up. And then Gongu, which is the guy with the kind of spiky hair. He's got the spyglass, the glass, the microscope looking towards them. He says, is Itakura-chan gonna die? And maybe it'll be better if he does. And I'm like, whoa, this is your comrade. What in the world? Like, I'm kind of surprised. And like, how strong is Byakuya if like they're that afraid of him? Like, does he increase in power every time he has like a near-death experience or something? Is this like, So it's very interesting. The next thing, Kenshin is still worried about Ashitaro causing a scene and being forced to use the Mugenjin, which is Shishio's blade, right? He inherited the blade from Shishio, so he's afraid that he's gonna draw the sword. And what's interesting about this is right after that, they go into town and they see these guys with swords, and it's almost like a parallel. I don't want them to cause trouble, but trouble finds us. So I found it very interesting how, like, it didn't matter. The swords just showed up anyway because they just walked into town. So that was very interesting. But you can definitely tell Kenshin watches over Ashitaro more so than Yaiko now, right? Yaiko, Kenshin has great faith in Yaiko, and he trusts him, right? But Ashitaro, he still has fear that he could go down the path that he did in the past. So that's another discussion question that we're going to touch on in the next video. So next thing, downtown Otaro is busy, and like I said, it is full of dangerous people who wield swords, which is very interesting because up until now, normally swords are not, they're prohibited, and you don't see them that often, right? Other than thieves and, other swordsmen, but like they're just walking down the street with swords, and Kenshin's like, there are too many swords here, and then there's this guy that they start a fight, and then they just draw swords and they're fighting, and then suddenly Kenshin tries to, break it up, and then people draw swords on him, and I'm like, whoa, okay. So that was very interesting, but at the same time, it's like, what is going on here? So very interesting stuff. At the very end, there is a thing on the swords. So on the swords, there's actually an emblem or family crest, a mysterious family crest. So we're going to talk about that in the description, in the next video as well. So these are things that I noticed in this chapter that I felt that were interesting and worth noting. So this chapter itself, it looked unfinished, right? So towards the end of the chapter, we had this kind of sketch-like illustration. There were even sketches of Kenshin. So it made you wonder, did he run out of time? Did Watsuki run out of time for publication, for the week, for the month, for this chapter? And I had to wonder, did he run out of time? Did he not have enough time? You have a whole month. You would think he had plenty of time, but it's possible. It's possible. It could be that he ran out of time and didn't have enough time to ink everything. But when you think about it, Kenshin refers to, talks about how Ashitaro, he wishes that he does not draw the Mugenjin and that he doesn't cause any trouble. And then, like I said, it parallels what happens in the scene in town. Everything seems to connect to one another. And when we see the characters, they're just sketches, right? But when you see the swords, all the swords are defined, all of them are inked, even the crests are laid out. So I have to wonder, is it possible that he's saying that, the people that are shown in town are not as important as the swords they're shown with? So it's possible it's that, or it's also just that he ran out of time, and that in the volume will give us the answer. We have to wait till the next volume comes out to find out whether or not, he did run out of time. In my, just my feeling is that it's probably intentional, but it could be. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I think it's intentional, the way how the chapter connects to how he's talking about not using a sword, then everyone is using a sword. It's all connected. So that's how I see it. But like I said, I could be wrong. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the first video for the review. Hope you guys enjoyed, and check out the next one for the discussion. It should be coming tomorrow. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.